Chatham-Kent sale of land by public tender. Today is September 25th, 2024. My name is Matt Torrance. I'm the Director of Financial Services and also the Deputy Treasurer. I'm joined today by Municipal Tax Collection staff, our Legal Services team, and Communications. Just briefly going to go over the tax sale tender process. All tenders present are sealed and have been handled by the Manager of Revenue. Tenders will be opened in the numbered time sequence they were submitted by advertised parcel order. All tenders will be passed to the Deputy Treasurer, who will announce the name and the bid amount of each submission. The bidder's name and bid amount will be announced and recorded. In the event the highest bid is a tie, the bid received first will be determined as the highest. Confirmation of tender eligibility will be determined after the tax sale, and the results of the tax sale will be published on the Chatham-Kent website. The deposits for unsuccessful tenders will not be released at today's tender under any circumstances. Deposit checks of unsuccessful tenders will be returned by courier only. The highest bidder shall be declared to be the successful purchaser if the bidder pays the amount of the bid, plus the applicable land transfer tax and HST where applicable, plus accumulated real property taxes within 14 days of notification to the successful bidder. If an eligible tender is not received for a parcel of land under Section 17 of the Municipal Act, the property may be vested in the name of the corporation of the municipality of Chatham-Kent. All property may be subject to land transfer tax and HST if applicable. We are not making representations or warranties as to the title, the nature, quality, or the size of the property. We are selling the property as is, where is, and no survey will be provided on the closing of the sale. There may be environmental issues, including cleanup and remediation obligations, which must be assumed by the purchaser. The successful purchaser of a property will accept the responsibility to initiate and complete the eviction process should the property have any occupants. Any liens previously registered by the Crown will remain and not be removed once the sale or vesting has been completed. It is the responsibility of the prospective purchaser to have determined prior to the tender submission if any such lien exists. Purchasers must retain a lawyer to complete the purchase of any property for which the tender is accepted. So we did have two parcels that were redeemed. Parcel number 2 being 45 Hillcrest Drive, Wheatley, PIN number 00841-0151. And parcel number 3 being 943 Mariners Road, Erio, PIN 00938-0895. These parcels are no longer eligible for tax sale. Our first parcel up for tender today is parcel number 1, roll number 3650-010-001-70300, lots 32 and 33, part lot 617, Romney, being 1270 Bluff Line, Romney, PIN 00847-0112, and roll number 3650-010-001-70400, lots 32 and 33, part lot 617, Romney, being 1276 Bluff Line, Romney, PIN 00847-0112. Additional note on this property, Planning Services has reviewed the above properties and advised that due to erosion hazard, no development is permitted on these parcels and no parking of recreational vehicles is permitted. The minimum tender amount is $14,627.78. The first bid is in the name of Lindsay Walsh and Nick Schulis, $15,001. The next tender is in the name Thomas McMillan, $25,001. And the final tender is in the name of Abed Durefair, $22,999.99. That includes parcel number 1. Parcel number 4 is roll number 3650 260 005 05005. Part lot 57, concession north Talbot Road, Orford. Part road allowance between lot 56 and lot 57, concession north Talbot Road, Orford, closed by OR 17454. Part 1, 24R 6551 596616 Chatham-Kent, being 15473 Talbot Trail, Muirkirk, pin 00671 0044. Minimum tender amount $18,123.55. First tender is in the name William Anderson, $25,000. Next tender is in the name Rita Burke. $83,123. Next tender is in the name Chris Croft, $121,777. Next tender in the name Lee Gosnell and Christine Gosnell, $180,000. Next tender in the name Syed Shahid Akhtar Bari, $26,786. Next tender in the name Hassan Mohammed, $105,000. Next tender in the name Nicholas St. John, $155,005.45. Next tender in the name Danny Scott, $50,001. Next tender in the name Greg Gillies and Hickory North Estates, $50,000. Next tender in the name Jennifer Mathewson, $21,500. Next tender in the name Beatrix Enter, $179,101. Next tender in the names Larry J. Baker and Sylvia Lynn Vanderhoek, $54,009. Next tender in the name Bobby Van Dam, $22,001. Next tender in the name John Verkate, $175,000. Next tender in the names Joanne Brown and Linda Jors, $155,600. Next tender in the name Karen Beanstra, $26,100. Next tender in the name PE Real Estate Solutions Incorporated, $101,000. Next tender in the name Greg Glazier, $81,005. Next tender in the name Ryan P. Chesterfield, $35,000. Next tender in the name Brian Jocelyn, $75,600. And that concludes parcel number 4. Parcel number 5 is roll number 3650-320-002-01477, part lot 12, concession 9, zone as in ZO5575B, south of Oak Street, Chatham-Kent, being Oak Street, Bothwell, pin 006430097, minimum tender amount $8,287.06. First tender in the name Syed Shahid Akhtar Bari, $11,786. Next tender in the name Beatrix Enter, $9,101. That concludes parcel number 5. Parcel number 6 is roll number 3650-442-004-05300, lot 55, plan 119, Chatham-Kent, being 35 Hiram Street, Wallsburg, pin 00576-0041. Minimum tender amount $37,604.96. First tender in the name Beatrix Enter, $37,611. Next tender in the name Barb Vercake and John Vercake, $37,700. Next tender in the name Linda Jors and Joanne Brown, $38,050. That concludes parcel number 6. Parcel number 7 is roll number 3650-443-003-17910, private lane plan 367 adjacent to lots 9, 10, 11, 12, Wallsburg, Municipality Chatham-Kent, being Duke Street, Wallsburg, pin 00566-0181, minimum tender amount $5,732.42. Tender in the name of Worthland Holdings Inc. and Terrence Dimone, $10,000. That's the only tender for this property. Parcel number 8 is roll number 3650-480-002-17300. Part lot 5, plan 428 as in 661564 Chatham-Kent, being 24224 Winterline Road, Pancor, pin 00784-0137. Minimum tender amount $9,999.99. First tender in the name Mohammed Fayez Ahmed, $15,200. Next tender in the name Lindsay Walsh and Nick Schulist, $71,001. Next tender in the name Scott Pritchard, $55,000. Next tender in the names Doug Bateman and Darlene Bateman, $25,000. Next tender in the name B.D. Singh Bains, $9,999.99. Next tender in the name Abed Darifar, $28,999.99. Next tender in the names 2089679 Ontario Inc. and Dave DePonte, $55,000. Next tender in the name Syed Shahid Akhtar Bari, $35,786. Next tender in the names Braden Toronto Brooks and Dakota Stewart, $20,010. Next tender in the name Beatrix Enter, $12,101. Next tender in the name JJP Properties Inc., $16,500. Next tender in the names Barb Vercake and John Vercake, $15,500. Next tender in the name 2685144 Ontario Inc. Limited, $15,000. Next tender in the name Savamphanakumar Kanula, $22,000. Next tender in the name PE Real Estate Solutions Inc., $35,000. That concludes our tax sale tender opening today. All tenders received have now been opened and announced. Results from today's tax sale will be posted on the Chatham-Kent website tomorrow. The link is on the screen if you'd like a direct link. Thank you.